Good morning. It is a Saturday morning. I hope you are doing well. And I definitely can tell I'm on like a 15-second delay. So hopefully you see this about now. Uh, of course, it won't make any sense to you, but I'm definitely on a 15-second delay over here. I hope you are doing well on this Saturday morning, and welcome to Travel the World as a Speaker. Made a few changes. We are not going to go live here on we're not going to go live on Instagram on the weekends. We're just going to go straight here to the YouTube channel. And today, I think my camera's just a little wonky. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. All right. We're going to talk about how to make $5,000 as a speaker. I actually have notes. You see them? I have notes. We're going to get down to doing this. Do I have a travel story for you today? I don't know. Hey, Annette, how are you doing? How is everyone doing? All right. So here's the deal. This is Travel the World as a Speaker. I am your host, Phylecia Jones. I'm actually the lead researcher and founder of iFind You Clothes. And this show is brought to you by iFind You Clothes, where we actually go out and research and find speaking engagements and we deliver them to you. So if you're trying to leverage speaking to travel or to grow your business, I want you to go check us out at ifindyouclothes.com, and you can stick around and fill out our free assessment on whether or not you can attract high paid speaking gigs. I actually do those. They're very custom, and I give you a couple of tips that you can work on. So they're kind of fun. I have met some very cool people by doing these assessments. So why don't you go ahead and take and check it out as well. Now, what we're going to talk about today, like I said, is how to make $5,000 as a speaker. We're going to get into the math of things, and we've been doing a lot of math on here over the last few days, and it's been kind of cool. Got a lot of good feedback on doing the math around getting speaking gigs, because like I told you, it is all a numbers game. It is all a numbers game. All right. And we have to remember that when it comes to speaking. And the same thing with making money with speaking is that it is definitely a numbers game. So let me pull up my little chair here. We're going to pull out some whiteboards. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a travel story for you. I think yesterday I told you like a year ago, just looking at photos of, because I was still traveling up until the time everything stopped, which is kind of crazy. I was still traveling up until that time. So now I'm starting to get all of those reminders of like, this time last year, you were on your way to Chicago. And it was like, yeah, okay. So it's going to be quite fascinating to see over the next few weeks, especially February. February was probably I went to Chicago for a speaking gig, and that was my last big speaking gig for a while, like in person and things like that. So it has been a year, and you know what, I'm ready to get back to traveling again. But I do have some really cool news for you. For those of you, if you love being in the travel space, I'm part of 3 travel communities. I've been hired by them, and I've been brought on to talk about traveling and speaking and growing a business. So I am part of Travel Noir. If you want to join that travel community, Color Me World, it is a travel community for people of color, and definitely wonderful. It is a travel community for women who love to travel the world. I'm part of all of them. I love every last one of them. And I will be popping into all of them each month, doing content around growing a speaker business and a career, and around growing a business. So if you want to join those, I'll be putting the link down below. They're really, really cool. And I mean, gosh, everything from like your Spanish language circles, French language circles. I still haven't decided what language I'm going to take. But if you need people to practice with, they're doing tour guides, the best places for you to go, and people live streaming of different things. So if you are feeling like you're being disconnected from the ability to travel, I highly recommend you check out one of those groups. I will be putting the links down below so that you can check them all out. But I've had a lot of fun just meeting some amazing people, and you'll meet some very interesting people in these groups, people who run some very large, fascinating events. Okay, the best person I've ever met in one of these groups, I met the woman who does the world's largest international chocolate festival. And she was like, yeah, we're always looking for speakers, and it's always kind of hard to find them. Like, There you go, people. There you go. Annette is asking, she's saying, you were all over the world. I was all over the world. Now I'm all over my basement, Annette. I'm all over the basement. So for those organizations, do you have extensive travel experience to join or desire to travel? Oh, no, no, no. This has nothing to do with extensive travel. This is for people who just enjoy it. So you're going to get a little bit of people, I've never traveled before. How do I do this? So you get those people. You got people like, I would love to travel. You got folks who just want to voyeur and watch everybody's photos. So it's not you need to be extensively traveled. You will have those people that are there, and then you'll have a lot of people cheering you on just to help you with your first trip, help you with your first solo trip, whatever. And it is really cool. I've met people that, hey, I want to come visit you in Tanzania. Like, okay, I will put this together for you and let's come hang out. So no, you don't have to be extensively traveled. Yeah, the chocolate festival was actually in California. It's up in Northern California. Of course, I'm pretty sure they didn't have it this year, but is it Geary? Why am I thinking it's there? But it's like kind of the San Jose area. So up outside, not in the bay, but in the dry part. In the dry part of the Bay Area. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this because it is a Saturday and I'm pretty sure you got parties to go to, you got people to sniff, and you want to go lick folks. I don't know. I don't know what people do on the weekends these days. Our enjoyment today, we're going to travel to Walgreens and to Home Depot. Yep. Exciting. Yay. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this. How to make $5,000 as a speaker. Like I said, I have notes and we're going to just jump into it. I have my whiteboard ready so that we can switch the scene and we're going to break these numbers down. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the number one way to make money as a speaker. I'm going to put it up here. Is courses. Now, it's just number one in my world because it's just something that you can add on to what you are doing. And we just did I think 2 weeks ago. And so I'll tag that as well. But making courses is actually pretty cool. And I know a lot of people have been poo-pooing courses, but I like very short, low-cost courses that people can easily buy into and they can quickly figure out what you're about, what you can learn, what they can learn from you. No, it doesn't have to be this massive course for $1,000. But you know what? If you have $1,000 course and you get 5 people to buy it, there you go. You just made $5,000. So let's break down this courses thing. So we talked about courses. Let's see if I can get my pen to work. So let's just say you decide to do a course. Now, if you want to do $100 course, which is not bad, you'll be surprised. A lot of people will pay $100 for courses, especially if it's a good one. All you need is 50 people. You need 50 people to give you $100, or you need, if you have a $200 course, I actually think I did my math right. You just need 25 people. See how that works? But the other cool thing that I do like, I'm doing some very simple math here, but the other thing I do like about courses is that you can have courses for $5, $10, $25, and it can bring in passive income for quite a few years. So that's why I really do like the ability to have courses. I highly encourage all of you as a speaker to have at least one of these products. Remember, the other thing that you can do with these courses is that if you are going out and speaking, you can leverage having a sponsor pay to purchase a course for everyone in the room. And guess what? If it's a course, if you've negotiated a deal for about $25 and there's 200 people in the room, I think I did my math right. I think you just made your $5,000. So let's go ahead and do the math on that. So let's just say we have a $25 course, 200 people in the room. Guess what? There you go. $5,000 right there. So that's why I highly encourage you to have a course. I know people were like, oh, everybody's making courses. You know what? Let those people be haters because they're not making money right now. Seems like the people who aren't doing the things are the ones who hate a lot. Whatever. Annette is saying, you always make me laugh. Thank you. And of course, your content is always helpful. Oh, thank you, Annette. I appreciate that. Mwah. Appreciate you. Am I getting too old to do this? Because I can't hold my pen at the same time. All right. The next thing that we're going to talk about is on my notes list. Okay, I'm trying to be fancy at the same time while doing this stuff. And I don't have this programmed on my little thingy, so I have to use my mouse, and it's far away. I am of an age, y'all. I am of an age. Vision is just an option these days. All right, number 2 is consulting. Number 2, how to make $5,000 as a speaker is through consulting. Now, here's the deal, and I've done this before. I've been guilty of this. You go out and you speak and you get excited, and you don't have enough people to convert, or you haven't figured out a way to convert people into one of your programs. Now, we talked about this earlier this week, is selling from the stage. Now, this is when selling from the stage actually kicks in, even with the courses before. So if you happen to have a gig where you know they're not compensating you, but you're getting a lot out of it, but you have the ability to kind of offer something, this is where you want to go. So I definitely think you need to have some consulting in your life, because here's how the numbers work. It is exactly the same thing. You know what? If you sell your hourly, let's just say you have an hourly consulting service, you get 50 people that will give you $100, or you might have 25 people who will give you $200. You'll be surprised. If you are good at what you do, you can convert 25 people into a $200 hourly consulting fee. That's it. Oh my gosh. You can make $5,000 so quickly just by selling an hour of your knowledge. People will purchase it, but you got to be good at what you're talking about. Now, here's what I want you to do when you're getting into the consulting. I want you, let me see if I can pull this up. Here are 2 of the things that I like to do. Is one, you need a calendar service. I'm going to bring up 2 of them so you can see what I'm talking about. And there's one I can't, can I spell the name? Calendly. There we go. These are 2 services that I highly recommend. I'm bringing up my left cam for you. So the first one is Calendly. This is a solution that you can have. Every speaker needs to have this. If you do not have this already, stop with this back and forth. What time are you free? What time are you free? No. Stop with that. Stop with that. You need to have this set up, and you need to have your hourly consulting ready to go. It needs to be ready to go, because if people say, oh my gosh, Annette, I really, really want to talk to you. I want to pick your brain. Guess what? You send them over here to your $200 an hour consulting, and you'll be surprised. You'll get 25 people. And if they want to re-up, all they got to do is go and schedule again. So I like the fees over here. Is $0 for free. I would say stay away from the free, because it's like a one-way calendar onto your Google Calendar. So I would set up for the one you want on this one is the $12 one. The $12 one gives you the ability to have a PayPal or Stripe integration. You see how these other 2 won't let you take payment? No. So if you're going to use Calendly, go ahead and sign up for the Pro at $12. Link your PayPal account to it and set up your Stripe account. That's how you're going to get your hourly rates going. It's one of the things I wish I had done from the beginning, because not everybody wants to do a 6-month coaching program. They just want to talk to you for an hour, and you need to value your time. All right. The other one I do like, Acuity. This is the one I use, and I've been using this for years now. So same thing with Acuity. It is a appointment calendar setting. Now with the $14 one, let's see. Now I have to tell you, I got grandfathered in from some years ago. So I'm not really sure. What I pay is slightly different, but it's the same thing. You're going to want to have your integration so that you can pay. And if I'm correct, I think this is not something that it's already inside of the $14 one. If I'm correct, this is just for growth. These other 2s are like if you have a team and stuff like that. But I do like this. You already have your integrations. It'll integrate to Zoom, all that kind of stuff. So it's really easy peasy to set up your hourly consulting. So if you do not have that ready to go, I want you to get that done right now. I'm like hiding behind the thing. I want you to get that ready to go right now. Like as we speak, I want you to get that consulting in place. All right. So we got a couple of questions from Annette. She's saying, would you have one consulting offer at the end, or a choice with various consulting options like 3? All right, Annette, that's a really good question. So Annette is asking like how many options when it comes to consulting. If you are just starting this out, 1 is good enough. One is good enough. All right. 1 is good. Annette is asking, do I like Acuity better than Calendly? Here's the thing. Acuity is what I know. It's what I've been using for years. I never use Calendly, but I know some other people. I like to set up when I see other people's appointment calendars. I used to use something else before that, but just they all serve the same purpose. Find the one you know how to use. Acuity is what I know how to use, and my brain can't handle learning new stuff. So I'm actually going to show you my options when it comes to consulting. Now, I have to tell you, I do have other appointment hours that are hidden, that are not for the general public. Like if somebody wants to do a chat session with me and I like you, then I will send that to you, but not everybody sees that. So what I have done with mine is I have a vanity link and for iFind You closed, so I'll know exactly how to get directly to it. Let's see if I know my address well enough. There you go. ifindyouclosed.com/consulting. So if you are interested in consulting with me, here's what you can do. So I have mine in 3 different categories, Annette. And the reason why I have my consulting is, but one, it helps me kind of understand what it is that we're going to talk about. So that's how I have it. For the most part, I've only used one consulting calendar for years, but I broke it up this way because I was getting quite a few different people wanting to talk about different things. And so this is a way for me to force them to filter into exactly what we're going to talk about so we don't digress. So I actually have 3 different things. So I do individual speaker coaching and guidance. These are for like people just starting out, and this is private expert video consult. They're all video, so FYI. And this is a deeper analysis, and this is usually for people that are gonna, sign up for 2 or 3 at a time. I'm about to go clean all this up just a little bit. But this kind of lets me know that somebody is, has already done some work, and we're going to get specific to some other things. This is kind of a general just to help you brainstorm. And because I get a lot of people asking about TEDx, I have a different hourly rate for that. And we are on the phone for 90 minutes and is all about TEDx. Because I can't talk about TEDx along with a regular speaking career because it's just a whole different thing. So that's kind of how I have it set up. But I just like Acuity because it's just what I know. Find whatever you know how to use and just use it. Right now, everybody is so competitive, which is great. Go for one that the price works for you in your budget. All right. All right. So we've talked about the first 2. So we have so far talked about starting courses. I did a whole show on that. And number 2, consulting. So number 3, oh my gosh, this is what we talked about last Saturday. Loved it. Templates, docs, books, and guides. And what I mean by this is I want you to go watch the video on, what did we do a week ago, on Gumroad. I like being able to sell your templates for $25 each. I like being able to sell your how-to guides, your how-to PDFs for $25, $50, $100, whatever price you put on it, because it can quickly add up to 200 people giving you $25, 50 people giving you $100 for your how-to guide and your video series. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to show you where you can go and watch me teach you how to do this. And I love doing it. It was so much fun doing this show for you all. Let's see if the YouTube will let me. All right, so here it is. Let me switch over here. So I am going to put this link in, and this is using Gumroad to boost your revenue. You're definitely going to want to go back and watch this. And I love Gumroad. If you don't have to use Gumroad, but Gumroad was one of the ones I absolutely love to get your templates up really fast. I mean, so fast, like within 5 minutes, you can sell a how-to guide. You can sell a how-to video. I mean, this video right here, I could put it behind a paywall and then charge people for it. It doesn't have to be in a huge course. You can sell videos. You can sell documents. You can sell templates. You can sell photos. You can sell step-by-step guides. You need to have this in your life as a speaker. This is how you're going to bring in that passive income. Like Annette, I know you dance. You can put up some choreography. You can put up some yoga choreography, whatever it is, and have these things just ready to go. So when you are doing your virtual speaking, people, because people like to go to your website and like poke around. You'd be surprised at who would buy some of the things when you're doing your virtual speaking. So I love this idea. So if you don't have the Gumroad in your life, if you haven't figured this out, I want you to go check it out. Check out that video, but go check out Gumroad, because you could definitely sell your templates. Can I do that here? Your templates, docs, books, and guides, ebooks. I don't care what it is you have, but as a speaker, you have so much knowledge. You have so much knowledge. You need to start monetizing it. This is the year of monetizing. Stop giving your stuff away for free, y'all. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. All right. Let's see. Annette is saying, do you have a session, or will you have a session with the TEDx in the current pandemic? What are you, be clear on what you're asking me, Annette. Are you asking doing a TEDx during a pandemic, or do I just have a session on TEDx? I actually I have a course on TEDx. I just haven't put it out there to the world. I should probably work on that, shouldn't I? I should take my own advice. But as far as doing a TEDx during a pandemic, I mean, if you can get on stage, go for it. Me personally, I would say wait until you have a live stage, because a lot of them are letting you do it at home. You want the whole experience. Just me being the snob I am when it comes to being on stage. If I'm going to put all this energy into it, I want to be on stage. All right. And Annette saying, appreciate this. Very easy stuff to implement. Yes, very easy stuff to implement. That's why I love Gumroad. I absolutely love Gumroad. I can go and put up a template like within 5 minutes. You're going to be sitting on the sofa today, not doing much. So go ahead and set yourself up with some templates, some courses, some guides, some how-to. Annette, I remember back in the day, people used to ask you about your nutrition. Put up the guide and keep on moving. And no, you could put up different things. You'd be surprised, even though maybe 1 or 2 people ask you this stuff, it never hurts to put it in a guide. If somebody buys it, great. But this is what you need so that you can get to that $5,000. Remember, if 200 people give you $25 for this, it's great. If you have $100 template, or like access to all of your templates, and 50 people give you $100 over the year, even better. Over the month, you're amazing. All right, so let's go ahead and number 4. Number 4. Trainings. Oh, I probably should learn how to spell, shouldn't I? Let's put in that G. Sorry, y'all. Like I said, I can't do these things. Trainings and workshops. All right. So we had to update some things. Trainings and workshops. Here's how you really are going to make $5,000 as a speaker. And I want you to really pay attention to this. So I separate speaking, getting on stage and doing keynotes. I separate that from trainings and workshops, because trainings and workshops take more time, more hands-on, more in-depth. All right. So that's why I usually separate like a 45-minute keynote, a 75-minute keynote. To me, you're getting on stage and you're not really training a whole lot, but a workshop, you might get in for like 2 to 4 hours. Same thing with a training, 2 to 4 hours. This is where you're going to make a lot of money as a speaker. If you are a speaker, you need to go ahead and attach yourself to some type of training course or some type of workshop. And you need to have it in your back pocket. So when you are out there negotiating and you want to have a bigger deal and you want to go beyond just being a speaker, you need to have this ready to go. Okay. Ready to go. Now you can have 5 $1,000 trainings set up easy. Workshops the same way. This is where you're going to bring in a higher ticket, a higher price for all of the things that you're doing. So I want you to make sure that you have trainings and workshops on your website, very clear, outside of just your speaking. All right. Because now when we start getting into, I want you to come and do a workshop for 4 hours. Oh yes. $1,000 minimum. $1,000 minimum. Minimum. I'm just saying minimum. You can have one training for $5,000. That's no problem. A lot of my trainings have been around $1,250 to $2,000. So, and it also depends on how much time I'm putting in as well. So this, and also my trainings are not necessarily for groups. I will train somebody on their team of how to go out and search for speaking gigs. So anywhere from $1,200 to $2,500, depending on how long. 2 of those, and you're already at your $5,000. So you could do individual training, you could do group training, workshops, same thing. This is what I want you to pay attention to. Also, if you're doing workshops to the general public where people have to opt in, let's just say you are charging $100. You're charging $100, you get 50 people to sign up. You charge $200, you get 25 people to sign up. You charge $500 and you get 10 people to sign up. Did I do that right? Yeah. So I've done $500 trainings, get 10 people in. I've done $200 trainings. These are just the things you need to have in place when it comes to definitely capitalizing off of trainings and workshops. This is where you're going to make your money as a speaker. Just saying. All right. Annette has some questions over here. Yes, doing the TEDx during pandemic events, doing TEDx events during a pandemic. It just depends. When it comes to that TEDx thing, some events let you do it from home. Some just have no audience and they still do all of the camera work. You just got to figure out which one works for you. And plus you got to just go through the process of landing a TEDx first. So they're still going. Annette is asking, are you running ads to your products on Gumroad, or is that all organic referral traffic? I am not using Gumroad at this exact moment because I'm still building all of my templates. Me personally, my main product is iFind You Close. So I have courses inside of iFind You Close. So all of my ads, when we were running them last year, they were going to my mini courses. So my biggest thing is to get you back to iFind You Close. Me, the way I am using templates as just little add-ons. So me for Gumroad templates and things like that I am creating, those are not going to be my big money makers, but it's just in my back pocket just in case. I go to an event and I can go sell something for $5, but my mini courses have been the biggest thing that have worked for me. And you can also run mini courses through Gumroad. You can do courses through Gumroad as well. I just actually have a course platform that I'm using, that I'm going to be using for my courses. And then I'm going to do my templates, my speaker kit templates and things like that over on Gumroad. And yeah, I don't know, we might run ads to them. I don't know. It depends on what the marketing person tells me to do. Does iFind You Close find you organizations to hire you for trainings and workshops? I can do that. What we do with iFind You Close is it depends on, all right. So the basic membership for iFind You Close just delivers speaking opportunities for you. When it comes to one-on-one consulting, all right, see, back to that consulting thing. When it comes to one-on-one consulting and researching, what we do, we will research organizations and events that you can get in front of. I do not operate as an agency. Because here's the deal, most people, here's the thing with agents. You need to have enough of demand to bring in an agent, because otherwise it's going to be more work for me, and which I don't mind the work, but more work for me, and I have less to leverage in you getting paid. So remember, as an agent, I'm taking 10 to 20% depending on how you set that up. And if all I can get you is a $1,200 gig or a $500 gig, to be honest, all that work just isn't worth it for me. You could do all that work and not have to give any of that money to anybody else. But now if you are like Oprah, and you can bring in $15,000, $25,000 a gig, heck yeah, I'll go find you some gigs. But what I do right now, I basically do the research and set up everything so that you can do the pitching. So I will walk you through the pitch process. I personally believe for those types of gigs, you need to pitch yourself first. A lot of people, you'd be surprised, a lot of people don't like working with third-party people, for whatever reason. So I only do the research. That's what we do. We specialize in research. We don't specialize in placement. I will place people. I will act as an agent, but you got to be, I need to see you talk. There's a whole bunch of things I need to see first. I need to see if you're bookable, just to be honest. I need to see if you're bookable, because that helps me out a lot. And then I can leverage all of your previous gigs. So newbies is not a really good idea to go after an agent. I mean, unless you go for an agent that is willing to work hard for you, but it's very frustrating, to be honest. That's why a lot of these people only work with influencers, because they can bring in that money. All right. So, it's really great though that the research is done by your business. Yeah, I do all the research. I have a team of researchers and it's a team of 3 of us. So I give them the direction. I'm the one who kind of goes back and forth of like, what is it that you do, so that I can be very, very clear on how to guide them to research. All right. All right. So our last one, how to make $5,000 as a speaker. You need to sell something for $5,000. I know. I mean, you're like, really, Phylecia? Really? Yep, that's how we're going to do this. All right, so here's how you can make $5,000 as a speaker by selling something for $5,000. You can sell, let's see, a consulting package for $5,000. Easy. To an individual, it could be a coaching, it can be consulting. To an organization, you can do that for $5,000. You can do a training for $5,000. Like I said, this can be for a small team. It could be for an individual. You got to be careful on your timing with these, because you don't want somebody hanging around for a year when you had one goal in mind. You can sell a talk. You can sell a keynote talk, a keynote speech for $5,000. Remember, it goes back to how you're marketing yourself. What are you talking about? What industries you're going after? You can do that for $5,000. Have I done all of these? Yes, I actually have. I've had $5,000 consulting packages. I have had $5,000 workshops and trainings. I've done quite a few keynote speeches for $5,000. What else? I've made $5,000 from courses. I don't have a $5,000 course. That's way too much for me. But you can have a $5,000 course. That's usually going to be inside of a community. So that's where you will find a $5,000 course. You're going to have to attach a community to it as well. What else can you do for $5,000 as a speaker? You can come, I will call it a brand ambassador. So this is where ambassador, am I spelling it right? Who knows? This is where you will get a sponsor to pay you. So when you do go out to speak, you are not necessarily just repping their company the entire time. So there's 2 ways to do it. So you basically, you just talk about them. They are one of your sponsors as a speaker. So kind of like when you see like the NFL or soccer teams and they wear the logos of like Adidas. Adidas is not paying me, by the way. I wish they were. But like you see these type of logos on their outfits and things. That is where you get your brand ambassador sponsorships. You can do that with speaking. You can do that in a kind of a influencer mold as well. So I'll add influencer here. So it's kind of a brand ambassador influencer type deal. The same thing is you can actually get a job. They don't have these as much anymore because of the pandemic. You can go and work for a company like Google. Who have I seen? Google, Salesforce as one of their speakers, but you are promoting their content. And you can get paid for that. I've met a few people who do that. It's a very hard game to get into, but you can definitely do that as well. So when it comes to, the last thing is you need to get creative and figure out what you can sell for $5,000 as a speaker. You need to have all of these options in your back pocket. Have them all in your back pocket, because you never know which one is actually going to work. For one event, being able to sell your $25 templates or how-tos is it. For another event, your $50 course. For others, you're going to be converting into some type of consulting, training, or workshop. You need to have all of these different options just in your back pocket so that you don't talk yourself out of making some money. Because that's what usually happens when, somebody comes and says, Annette, do you have a workshop? No, I don't. All right, you just blew your shot right then and there. So let's make sure we have all of these different options. And like I said, you can start with some of the basics, things that you can easily put together. The workshops, the trainings will take a little bit of time to put together because, one, you got to be able to sell them at the higher price point. Your consulting, if you go with the hourly consulting, easily put up, ready to go by tonight or in the next hour. Using Gumroad can be done within the next hour. So you have options. You have options, kid. You have options. All right. If you got any more questions, put them down in the comment box. This is all I have for you on a Saturday morning because my voice is gone. My voice is like seriously gone. But I want to make sure you kind of have some different ways of understanding how you can make $5,000 and how some of these things you can do within the next hour. So here's my challenge to you. If you put any of these things together, any of them, I want you to respond back to me. You could slide in my DM. Here's my DM. I find you clothes. You can go there. You can't see me highlighting it, but you can go to, I think it's right here. Can I hold that right here in this little bubble right here? I find you clothes. Slide into my DM. Tell me which one you did, how long it took you to get it out there, and then when it comes to marketing, you just got to start telling people. You can do all the ads and stuff. I will say that is not my zone of genius, so don't even ask me about ads and LinkedIn. No. I stay in my little world right here in the basement. But whatever method you use for marketing, you still just got to tell people. You got to put it out there. Just because you made it and you told your cat and dog about it doesn't mean people are going to buy it. You got to tell other people. So I want you to tell me what you end up working on. You can respond back to me on this video as well. But this was fun. I'm actually going to be making some templates today. And you should go watch the Gumroad video. I love Gumroad. You have no idea how much I love Gumroad. Annette is saying, so all these options available, but customized to the audience demographic. Some might want higher end, etc. Yes, that's why you need to have all of these things ready to go. Some people might want higher end, but to be honest right now, because we are in a virtual world, that's where some of these lower end products will actually work. The $25, the $5 courses and templates, that because not everybody, they don't know you yet. They don't know you. And it's like, okay, let me, you're worth $5 to me at this moment in life. You're worth $25. So yeah, you got to have all of these different things ready to go. For what we do at iFind You Clothes, we lead with our lower end products and just being straight up honest. They're easier yeses to convert people into. We don't have to do mega sales pages for them. And we make it easy for people to purchase. And if you're part of our subscription, we make it easy for you to cancel as well. Now, when it comes to the higher end stuff, now we have to have a big old phone call because, we need to know what we're getting into, how much we're signing up for, and managing expectations. So the higher the price point, the more expectations you need to manage. So just remember that. All right, folks, I'm gone now. I got to go have the exciting world of going to Walgreens. Yeah, that's my travel experiences these days. And I think what we need to talk about on the show is travel shaming. Ooh, it has been fierce because I'm in so many travel communities. I got to tell you, the travel shaming is fierce. Like, I just sit back and watch and not get in the fray. But it's quite interesting what's going on in the travel world and shaming and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, y'all take care of yourselves. Don't go and travel shame anybody. Don't go get shamed. Enjoy your life. You don't have to tell everybody on the internet what you're doing. Annette is asking, you recommend the creator account for Gumroad. If I'm right, is that the one where you pay? I would say for Gumroad, start with the free. Start with the free account. Once you start making money, then upgrade. You want to make sure whenever you're using these different platforms, they can pay for themselves. We don't want you to go broke for things that people aren't purchasing. So the beautiful thing is you could put everything up there for free, and if nobody's buying, that's okay. If you're not marketing yet, that's okay. You're still not paying for it. Now, when you start paying for it, that's when we will upgrade our account to get rid of some of the fees. But for right now, it needs to pay for itself. And if it's not paying for itself, don't take on the extra cost. All right. Hey, we may have to actually go to Walgreens, Annette. She's saying better Walgreens than Walmart. Hey, I have no shame on anybody that's selling stuff these days because Walmart has come through quite a few times. All right. Y'all take care of yourselves. You have an amazing day. Stay safe out there. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.